a lot of people will cheat, and in order to make sure that it doesn't come apart, at the end, they'll actually fold this piece over. And guess what? It shorts the flag. So that's something you definitely don't want to do. You do not want to start by folding the tips over before you get started on the folding. So,
and the same thing that he cheated it up on the second fold, you can do it on the first fold as well. If you just have your line slightly down,
slightly off.
Once you make your second fold, all the red disappears on that end.
A good way to look at it is you have two grommets, put them side by side.
Okay.
And that'll give you just enough gap that when you go to fold it up, it'll go through and fold correctly.
And does the first fold go left or go right?
He did the opposite.
The first fold always goes toward the open seam, never to the closed seam. So your first triangle, that's what helps to lock the seam in place. You don't need to worry about locking this edge. You need to worry about locking this edge.
This fold.
And because he went through and pulled a lot harder than I did, we have a perfectly folded flag.
And I've taught this to Cub Scouts for 8 years.
And to be fair, the Cubs don't do it just once or just one
No.
day. They do it every year, or at least in my year, every year.
Yes.
And we do it whatever the nearest one to Veterans Day is, because
Yes.
one of our leaders, his husband is in the Army, so he
Well-
comes in, he's doing the school anyway, he comes in and we do flag folding and look at his
Yep.
every year.
There are multiple days they should be doing flag folding. Veterans Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Flag Day. I mean,
Part of the problem is we don't meet after the beginning of May until the end of September, so, or not much.
Why should they be folding on those days?
because those are days that represent the flag.
But it
Memorial.
goes back up.
What's that?
You fold it, but then you put it back up.
Oh, you can. Well, on this
It's
is
practice.
For
Oh,
practice,
just
yes,
practice.
for
Okay.
practice. Yeah.
Because
We've been
those
doing
are
this
all
yeah.
long.
You hoist the scout up the pole, he folds the flag, you hoist the scout down the pole.
That sounds like fun.
It's for reinforcement. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, here again.
Besides just doing it as wolves, which is the only requirement, and then doing it as a, what is it, first class, I think?
They should be doing
It's only
it.
one in the
It's-
scout thing. It's
yeah.
like, it's like
You have to
second
learn
class or
about,
first
with
class.
the new Cub Scouts. You have to learn about it, but I think wolves are the only ones that
That
it
have to
says
actually
fold
perform
the flag.
ceremony.
Well,
But
once again,
we have them all
do
doing
it one time,
so,
get it shined off, you're done, which I hate that. There's
This is
a
actually our pack
necessity for
flag
reinforcement.
that we use
Okay.
for folding.
So, beautifully done, thank you for the assistance. I just happen to have a bunch of flags over here that I would like you guys to pair off. I'll have you work with Mr. Newman because he seems to be the odd man out, and only because he's associated with our troop. And we're going to get some flags, we're going to go through, we're going to practice folding. One person will fold, one person will hold, then you flip, do it again. I'll come by, see how things are going. If you have any questions while we're doing it, please don't hesitate to talk to him.
I have a question that's not about folding flags. So I crochet.
Yes.
One of my crochet groups, somebody did a blanket that is in the design of the flag. Is
Okay.
that a, because I just saw it, I was like, well, that, it didn't have 50 stars, but it did have 13 stripes. And it's one of those chevron ones, so it's got the zigzags. So the stripes have zigzags, but it has like the appropriate size blue field. It just doesn't have the right number of stars. I mean, that's
Shouldn't be a problem.
okay, because it's not an actual flag.
You're
it's a
not
blanket.
turning a flag.
It was basically, it was the same size and shape, or, the same dimensions
And
of the flag.
that's fine because you're making something. You're not
Okay.
taking that and making clothes.
Making it, okay, gotcha. So like putting a picture of a flag on a piece of.
Are you over here to
Yeah.
play with
different
us?
than
Just no,
wearing
I'll-
a
Wearing
flag.
a flag, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
You're about ready to wrap up already.
We just
Oh,
got
we just got started. I had like 45 minutes.
He said 30. But anyways, how much time do you need?
They're going to do some flag folding.
Uh-huh.
And while they're doing their flag folding, I'm going to go over a couple other things.
Okay.
So give me another 15 minutes. We should be good. Because it's not even 8 o'clock yet. Do some skits.
Yeah, that's right, do some skits.
Do some skits.
Do a
Okay,
terrible
I got a big
song
one here. Who wants to
that
big
we've all,
flag?
that we've all been tired of.
And it's slightly torn up too.
Slightly.
So you're saying
Let me
what
show a little
sound like
bit more
is you want to
Give
give
that flag.
All right.
So
Go.
I'm holding first because you're on that end.
Ready?
And are we cheating the first time?
Yeah, I need that.
You get the honors of
This one, it's folded in half and then in half.
I do. It seems like
this could be a difficult one.
Oh, wow. Let me get you.
I'm just not good at listening.
I do use something about the seam goes in and the seam goes out.
That one's going to be rough.
Let me see the
And that one is short. See how it's
I
first.
took our
I'll fold it back up.
flag ceremony flagpole.
Well, that was one of the ones that was in the,
In the
last
flag
year
entire
and
box, yeah.
washed it,
So fold it
and
back
the
up.
water
Short
was
and,
this color in the wash machine 2 times.
You can unfold
Two
it the
times.
same way we.
And it like totally, it was like tacky like these walls, and then it turned like antique white. It was so pretty afterwards. It was so much brighter.
Don't be afraid to cheat at
That's
it.
amazing.
I get
Remember,
it.
if you keep your lines
We did on the.
directly together on the first one,
Yeah.
I always like to cheat on the second one too, because you want to make sure you maintain a good feel. And if you look, this thing looks like it's been ironed. So it is actually jammed
They try to
up.
aim like T-ball.
So if you cheated on the second one,
You're just wanting to hide the red behind you.
it's looking really good. So as you heard Charlie say earlier about raising the flag in the morning and taking the flag down in the evening, do you always have to bring a flag down?
Unless it's lit.
You do not need to bring a flag down on a flagpole if the flagpole is lit. You can keep the flag
They're
up
only
to
like
24.
$70, and it's like for the ones that have, what is that, sunlight one, you know?
Okay, the light, the.
Light sensitive.
Yeah, so we bought it for our church, as like, thank you for letting us swap it.
That's great.
Okay, so,
was
Reasons for lowering a flag at night. Number one, not lighted. Number two, extreme bad weather. You should not leave a flag up during extreme weather because it will destroy a flag and nothing flat. High winds will rip flags apart. That's probably what happened to that one right there.
Yeah.
They got caught in high wind.
yeah, so he did it with ceremonies.
Yep.
Making a tricorn shape.
I feel like some flags are a little bit better. Right?
yeah, like I feel like he didn't have that.
So
But I mean,
as
and
we
it's
have some of our
Okay, you see how you have a seam right here? If you do, you would take it
But we have more this time.
and then slide that into the flag.
Yeah, they're starting to, but these are pretty good.
Okay, you see how your
Triangle is
because of how this flag is, has been pressed in the material, now you can get that good crisp line. Fortunately, that's what happens.
That's why our flag is more useful.
very.
It's also, it's hot, so ours is one.
So it's getting retired anyway.
yeah.
Sure you're not.
That's why.
Oh no, he's competing.
Okay, so the one thing,
And it's huge.
what is the one thing that scouts love the most about scouting?
Flag.
No.
Archery.
What is the one thing that scouts love the most about scouting?
Fishing.
Burning the flag.
Ceremonies.
Fire.
Fire.
They love fire.
So,
So let's go over real quick about flag etiquette and retiring a flag.
I love that
I'll hold
ceremony.
on to it. You
It's
can
like the
hold
only time I see them
fine.
be reverent.
Yeah.
And they're burning the flag.
Yeah.
Burning the flag. Yeah, that's kind of funny. It's sad, but it's true. Anyway,
This one.
burning the American flag is how flags are retired. Back in the day when they were made of cloth, you could actually bury a flag, and that was considered a justification of retiring a flag because the cotton fabric would biodegrade and the flag would disappear. Those flags, though, the grommets would have to be taken off prior.
Because they would not.
They would not biodegrade. Well, they would, it's just a couple hundred
I
kilos.
mean, how many flag retirements do you guys all do? Do you guys do them as Cubs?
So we do them, we try to do them twice a year.
We remove the grommets before we do them in the fire. But then we take all of the grommets off of that retirement ceremonies iteration. I put them all on a wire coat hanger and put those in the fire to have the fabric burned off of them as well. And then we retire those grommets by either burying them or I make these for all of the scouts that participated in the fire retirements.
Yeah, we've done a couple when all of our clubs were lights. They got to do a flag retirement, so each one of
That's
them let the flag burn. So send us one badge, a couple of kind of antlers, and it was something in a container. Yeah, and the rock running out of it. Yeah.
So for flag burning,
Like every corner.
this is how we suggest for Cubs, for packs to do it. There's differences between packs, troops, and adult leaders. When I did my Blackfoot training, Blackfoot 40, we retired 248 flags. I stood out in front of a fire pit for 3 hours retiring flags. My arm was never so wasted from saluting. To do flag retirement at a Cub level, I would usually do one big flag where you have multiple Cubs with the help of adults. Put the flag into the fire, center of the flag, fold it into the fire. You can take a flag of this size, literally cut it up into smaller pieces, each have them put a small piece in the fire. Instead of having the big giant bonfire going, you have smaller ones. 4.
I heard when if you have to cut up a flag, you leave the field.
Because the red
You
was
feel
the way
you
out
shouldn't.
before
You
that
shouldn't.
flag.
You cut around the field, you can cut up the stripes, but leave the field intact. If you are retiring those small little wooden flags, the ones that you put at grave sites and the ones that people carry in parades and that, you remove the flag from the stick. You do not burn the stick. You have your small little flags, those get burned. If you are burning flags that have grommets on them, you must dig through the ashes and pull the grommets out. Because the ash will be buried or dispersed. You don't want to disperse the grommets because they're still finding shells from our different wars that we've had of stuff that does not in any way, shape, or form biodegrade. And let's face it, those grommets, 300 years from now, you'll find them. And they will not be dissolved. A lot of material, very quick. Sorry for having to dump this on you so fast because I thought I had a lot more time, but I wanted to make sure that we went over some of the basics of different flag etiquette and the raising and lowering of flags, folding of flags, and what you do during a flag retirement. I have a couple of things that I want to show you. I actually have one handout for you, which has the 10 points of flag etiquette per Scouting America. I made 40 copies.
I thought our scout got retiring, but he was signing up with volunteers because it would give him more.
Yep. Sir, would you like one? Mr. Newman.
What about when you receive a flag
He
like
said,
this?
this year I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
He's like, I don't-
What is the etiquette for that?
For what?
When you
Receiving a flag
receive
at
a
a
flag
funeral.
at a funeral.
Like you are the family member
Yeah,
receiving the flag?
what do you do with that?
Find a respectful
You
way
get
to
a case.
display it. We have cases.
Forever has to be in that thing?
No. Well, no, it will forever be folded.
It has to forever be folded?
Don't unfold.
Depending on the ceremony and the team doing the ceremony, there should be shell casings from the 21 gun salute inside that flag.
Yes.
When they fold it. So
Um,
don't want to unfold it. We have two, my grandfather and Shay's grandfather. We have both of their flags displayed in our house. Just a simple case, triangle case, the same size.
My wife's sister has her dad's flag, and yes, there are 21 casings in the flag.
An alternate that my grandfather had, the guys that put it on, didn't put it in it, but they put it in a special case.
You can do that too.
And they told us when displaying it, put the shells either in front or just next to it.
most of your American Legion posts will have a lot of great information when it comes to flag etiquette. Unfortunately, I couldn't get enough of these in time because I actually dropped the ball. I'll be the first to admit it and apologize for it. But they've got these nice little fold-outs. And this came from the American Legion Post 800 up in Dublin. And it's got all sorts of really cool information in it about flags and how you hang them and how you display them and how you walk with them in parades. And on the back of this one, it has a great little history of the flag, how to respect the flag, and oh wait, the Star-Spangled Banner. We should all know that. That's a great way to get the Scouts involved, the Cubs involved. Let them have a voice. Let them sing. You know, Star-Spangled Banner would be a great thing for them, especially when they're going through and doing flag folding. They could be learning the Star-Spangled Banner and singing it while they're folding the flag. That way they start to get the mental, they get the glue going. Flag, Star-Spangled Banner, respect, honor. Reverence. Any other questions that I can definitely screw up for you? It's all about confusing before you let them go. It's like, you know, the grandkids coming over, feeding them full of sugar, and then giving back to mom and dad. Anything? Thank you so much for your time. I had a great time doing this. Thank you, Charlie, for your input. And if you ever have any questions about anything Roundtable associated, as Nick has said many times before, look for the people in the aprons, and we will definitely confuse you